You smack you one?
Yes, come here. You beat the world champion yesterday, man.
Well, he was just nice to me. He let me win. He felt sorry for an old man.
How does that feel? Come here.
Well, I just told you, he felt bad for me. You know, he's a nice kid, and he felt sorry for an old man, so he let me win. Really?
What's your number one training tip for all the new arm wrestlers out there? Number one training tip.
Number one?
Lifting beer kegs.
You met George Jr., huh? Samson Isakowitz. Who else in the world? Who else in the world would call their son Samson but George Isakowitz?
He spawned a life form?
He spawned a life form. And he's tall and good looking. Imagine that coming from George.
Come here, buddy.
What's going on here? Samson, London, Ontario, Canada.
Last name?
Isakowitz.
You are related to the Crazy George?
Yep. Where is he? Right there's the old man. Champion.
In this world of arm wrestling, because he lives like way out there, his like legend is built to like almost mythical status. We don't know much about George. He just shows up and dominates, randomly. You never know exactly where he's going to be.
That's right.
Can you tell me a little bit about the man? Because he doesn't let in. Like,
what can I say about him? Look at him. World champion. He's just...
How often does he train?
Probably twice a week here. Here's one of his training partners right here, Mark Zalepa.
So he trains
twice a week with the boys.
Outside, inside,
yep.
Gym, arm wrestling?
Arm wrestling gym at my place. We train. His buddies there, they go in everywhere.
People want to know, how does he do it? Still, at that age, he's not degrading.
You know what it is? I think it's all heart and determination, man. There's no such thing as second place. It's win at all costs. Plain and simple.
Is there a certain exercise he does most?
He just trains harder than everybody. What else can I tell you? He trains. He does his weightlifting. He does his arm wrestling. He does everything.
What kind of weightlifting? Like what would be a typical exercise? Give me a little.
It all depends. Right? You want to do leg work? I'll do squats.
I want to know arm wrestling.
Arm wrestling
exercise.
Does a lot of wrist curls, hammer curls, a ton of hammer curls there. That's how he always pulls back.
How much weight?
The weight I don't know. The weight I don't know there, but he just does a lot of repetition there. A lot of finger strength, hand strength.
And you guys pull on the table like
yes.
How much table time would you say you guys are getting in a week?
I don't know about that there. I know when he comes to my place there, we probably train maybe half an hour to an hour. Me and him just going heads up kind of thing.
And just pulling. Does it run in the blood?
Well, I'll never live up to him. He's just a machine. Look at him. A machine.
I don't
you look at him, 60 years old, still doing it. How many guys do you know at 60 that are still doing it and winning?
What'd you think about him beating the world champ yesterday?
Unreal. Like, what can I say? He is just unreal, this guy.
He told me lifting beer kegs.
That's no word of a lie.
Is he pulling my leg?
No. I have actually a beer keg and, you know another thing? Sandbag.
So how do you lift do what with the beer kegs?
Just pick it over, take it with two hands, pick it up over here, put it on one shoulder, switch it to another shoulder, and put it down. Just pick it up. You don't want to go crazy, just pick it up nice, and then put it over one shoulder, carry it a bit, throw it over the other shoulder, carry it a bit, just like a sandbag.
A beer keg.
Beer keg. This is no word of lie, man. I know a lot of people don't believe it. My buddy here, he can verify it for you.
Does the man lift beer kegs?
Yeah, it's true.
He does.
First time I met him, Samson said, "Hey, you got to come watch my dad. He arm wrestles." I thought he was full of shit. I looked over and I saw this old man sitting there, and sure enough, he picks up this rock at his house, starts throwing rocks around. And I was like, "Are you joking me right now?" The guy's like 60 years old, and he said, "Come with me to the Arnold Classic. He's going to win. He's won like 5 times in a row." I said, okay, now you're telling a story." Sure enough, I came. Every guy down. Never loses. Never seen the man lose.
It was funny.
What?
Rob Graham and I go see Rocky Balboa, the newest Rocky film.
Yeah.
You know Rocky's training with the beer kegs and the chains and doing all that stuff. We started howling because that's exactly how George trains. Exactly. Beer kegs, chains, rocks, patio stones, everything. He just carries around big, heavy objects and throws them around, and he'll
dig a hole.
It's like strongman competition.
He'll dig a hole and then fill the hole and dig another hole. like he does. It's aimless yard work. He does.
And this guy, I want to see.
No mustache for me. No. Remember
He just got armpit hair last year. He can't get a beard.
People don't believe me. Gary, you got to come to London, Ontario sometime.
see it.
London, Ontario. You come to London, Ontario. I'll hook you up. I'll take care of you. We'll go watch George train.
How far is that from Michael Classic?
2.5 hours.
Drive?
Yeah. 2.5 hours. It's you come down sometime. I'll let you film. Or well, of course, I'll talk to George first. But no matter how much George says that, he's not into this stuff, George will love it to actually let people see how he trains.
Terrible diet too.
Terrible diet.
Donuts,
buns,
King 4 times a week.
Yeah,
straight up.
Donuts, everything. Yeah.
How many Whoppers did you eat last week?
6.
What? How many what?
Whoppers.
Whoppers. Burger King.
He goes to Whopper Wednesday and then goes and throws patio stoves around.
And a dozen donuts.
Okay.
Is it true that Ukrainians, Russians, did they really think they were going to come over here and just roll through George?
I would say so, yes. I figured with all the talk on the net and stuff like that, and common sense would tell you though. Artem's young. He's new. He's training hard. He's reigning world champion. Who would think from Russia or Europe or whoever that doesn't really know George except from the myth and everything that everybody reads, that his arm is fused where it is and all that stuff? Who would think that the reigning world champion would come over and lose to a 60-year-old man? Who would think that? Seriously. It's common sense. But,
60 years old.
He's 60 years old. You have a 20-something-year-old world champion coming over to take on a 60-year-old man. He's collecting Social Security or whatever they call it in Canada. George is retired. He trains hard. He eats Whoppers and all that stuff. Who would think that George would beat that guy?
He gets cheap bus fare.
He gets cheap bus fare.
Смотри его за пальцы, смотри за пальцы, блядь. Смотри, не отдавай никуда, блядь.
Amazing. It's awesome. Good match. George is crazy George. You don't turn the bones, you don't win. Incredible little arm wrestler. Good for him. 60 years old, what can you do?
Artem, I noticed he was pulling straight down.
Yeah.
And holding. That seemed to hold off George for a long time.
Yeah, George isn't wrestling with power. George is being George, but I haven't a bad word to say about crazy George. Inspirational little dude. Good for him.
Crazy George.
I told you every time.
Third place.
George.
Second place.
Very good.
From
Very good.
Wisconsin, Steve
So impressive, man.
Brown.
What do you got to say, man?
How do you do it 60 years
Wait a
old?
minute.
Dude, you look good this weekend, man.
Yeah,
What's your name and location?
Hey,
Not bad for an old man, eh?
We getting
What do you
there.
think of this guy?
Oh, he's the man. I said it all along. He's the man.
He's getting gray now. Gray now.
What did these guys from Europe think about you?
Well, let me tell you something.
They thought he would roll.
Let me explain. They think in North America we're a B class. I just proved them wrong. We're A class. You know how they think they're way better than us? They're not.
I don't know how you do it, bro, but it's freaking awesome.
Well, you know what? I think it's because, like I said to you earlier, them guys feel bad for me. Being old, they feel bad.